Hey, No Brains, No Headache listeners. You can find every episode on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Episodes are available to watch on YouTube, where you can subscribe, like, and comment on each episode. Make sure to follow No Brains, No Headache on your favorite social media platform for up-to-date news, clips, and poorly timed jokes. Now let's get into this week's episode.
No brains, no headache. That's the way I like it. Turn my worries into jokes. Set them on fire while we light it. No brains, no headache.
No Brains, No Headache podcast, back for yet another week of you listening to my co-host and I rant for about 60 minutes on the most random topics under the sun. And boy, are we excited to be here yet again, recording on a Monday, the best day of the week to record. Definitely not tired from the weekend at all. Definitely having a wonderful start to the week. Name's Jordan Weichel. I'm going to be your host today. Happy to be here. Damn glad to do so. Next to me is my co-host, confidant, longtime friend, fellow comedian. I like to call him Ongo. Some people call him applesauce. It's Matt Cleary. Ongo, how we doing today?
Honestly, you called me before this, and I was like, please say I don't want to record today. Please say, you're like, I'm running a little late. I'm like, fuck!
Yeah, and just we touched on it last week, but the whole Monday recording is just. But is there any other better day of the week for us?
We could do it on Sunday when we're more hungover.
Yeah, I mean, just it's really take your pick at that point. But what's going on in your world? What's new? Anything?
Nah, not a whole lot. Like yesterday, if we would have recorded, I literally got home from Hettinger, North Dakota, because comedy career is going great. And I literally just crawled into bed immediately when I got home.
Yeah, I logged some serious hours on the couch as well. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but I had nothing on the agenda and it was awesome. But like I think that's like the first time in a long time where I actually had Sunday scaries. Cause like as the day went on, like it's great when you have like the whole day ahead of you, right? You're like, sweet, can take a nap, we'll eat some food, watch a movie, whatever. But then it's like getting to like 8, 9 p.m. and it's like, great. I have to wake up in the morning and be responsible.
See, I always thought Sunday scaries was when like you were so hungover and you were like worried that you did something stupid the night before.
I think that's part of it, but it's also just the anxiety for like the week coming up. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to talk about. You got anything housekeeping wise? What are you wearing?
These are non-prescription glasses that have jaguars on the side.
Nice. There's an awful glare coming.
Oh
off.
yeah, I can't see a thing right now.
Remember that time we recorded at the tiki bar and I wore those shades and like it's dark in the tiki bar and then the sun was setting and halfway through I was like, dude, I can't see a thing right now.
Dude, that's my car right now. So update, I think I said this 3 months ago, my windshield wipers don't work. They still don't work. And my windshield is so dirty that I'm driving to work into the sun and I'm like, I could be running over everything right now. I just can't see.
Oh, dude, I definitely ran over something not with my vehicle, but.
And then like the scary part is I go right by a school where the crosswalk lady is out like 50% of the time. And I'm just like, well, hopefully she's not out there because her and those kids are all dead.
Yeah, between you registering your vehicle, getting insurance for your vehicle, and changing the windshield wipers, it's just not great.
I also, one of my headlights is out. So
just driving during the day, huh?
Yep. And I haven't been driving at night.
How do we feel about daylight savings? It's throwing everything off.
I hate it for the sole fact that I have to record the podcast at like 8 my time, which is really not much of a difference, like 1 hour, but I'm going to play it up and act like it is ruining my life.
I agree with you 100% because I like for me, the clock is ticking. It's like, okay, I try to get home as soon as possible, stay at work an extra 45 minutes, turn my car into oncoming traffic. I had a very bipolar day. Started out rough. I was just minding my own biz, minding my own beeswax. Then it got good. There was like a 3-hour span there of an 8-hour day where it was just electric. And then like the last hour or two was just like, it was no bueno, as they say around here.
Yeah. You know who had a bad day?
Alan Ritchson.
Alan Ritchson's neighbor. So if you're not familiar with Alan Ritchson, it's Thad Castle, North Dakota's own Alan Ritchson from the Grand Forks area.
I would rather take Alan Ritchson over Josh Duhamel any day of the week.
See, I'm coming back on Josh Duhamel. I've just been watching all of it. I've watched this like rom-com series on Netflix. Horrible reviews. Yeah, he's in it. It's pretty wild at the end. Like, it's classic small town. Everyone's connected, and I can't wait for season 2. So
I think Hollywood's the way to go. Like, you can just do like 4 shitty movies, and then you can coast. Like, and I don't want to get too off subject here. That's kind of the theme of No Brains, No Headache. But like Shia LaBeouf seems to be doing just fine, and he just can't help himself but be a maniac.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf's on like a little bit of a renaissance, and when I say renaissance, I mean relapsing into drugs and alcohol. Very much so.
And he cannot handle his drugs and alcohol. By the sounds of it, it just.
He's
Shia
like
LaBeouf. It does not mix well with those.
Yeah, he's getting in a fist fight, and by getting into a fist fight, I mean he's like slithering on the ground like a snake as someone just drags him out of a bar. But Alan Ritchson lives in the Nashville, Tennessee area, my stomping grounds a couple weeks ago. I didn't see him, but he was riding his bikes with his kids, like motorcycles, in his neighborhood, and his neighbor was just getting pissed off because he was going like fast through the streets and flips him off. Alan Ritchson flips him off. Next thing you know, his other neighbor has like a cell phone video of Alan Ritchson just feeding this guy punches.
Really?
It's so good. And then he just like gets on his bike, but it like the gas was like pinned, so he stood his bike up and it literally just like boom and like flies into the curb. It's great.
I just typed in Alan Ritchson into Google. Top headline: Reacher star Alan Ritchson beats up neighbor in front of kids on video.
Oh yeah, the guy's like on the ground and like not doing anything, and he's just feeding them uppercuts. You don't really see what happens before that. I'm assuming unless he just has breathtakingly like bad anger issues that something else was done before, but
well, perception is reality. So yeah, they probably just caught that. Also, I would be like to the other neighbor, like, thanks for just throwing me under the bus like that. Like, I hate that's like where we're at in society. It's like you'd think that you'd maybe want to like go help or just like cool down the situation. Instead, it's just like, let me get out my phone really quick, press record. I mean, but also on the other side of the coin, probably got some good money for that video.
Oh, for sure. TMZ probably drops 10, 12,000 on videos all the time.
Also, is TMZ like worth anything? Because I sent you a headline of TMZ the other day, and it was like, why are they reporting on this TikTok person that like,
friend of the show, just DUI city. So there was this video that went viral. So it's just a guy who's like recording on his phone, and he's like sideways because he has tipped over his semi truck. And it's so funny, but I don't know if
this is crazy. Man, he's standing up. Me, I'm still in my seatbelt. You know I'm fired.
It's my first day.
Yeah, this is
my first day.
At least he wasn't.
They were just sideways on the road.
Yeah, completely sideways. One of them's just standing up. One of them's still like buckled in his seat. And it's like he's training this guy, and on the first day he's like, you know, I'm fired.
I mean, I guess my start to my week wasn't tipping a semi on its side, but
Yeah. But
what can you do?
other than that, we got some more headlines and stuff coming up. But I like to try to save money weird ways for the country. Like I had the idea to stop flyovers at football games to cut down on our military spending.
Okay.
And another idea I had was to scrap the the Statue of Liberty.
Like scrap metal.
Yeah, thinking that would be a good chunk of money. So I did the research, and apparently it's only worth like $180,000 if you scrapped it.
I mean, you know, it would make like a small dent. We'd probably like go down the 180 and be back up by the end of the day.
We paid taxes on the 180, and it costs us 200,000. There was part of me that was thinking that the Statue of Liberty in scrap value was going to be worth like no less than $500 billion.
Like, do you think that the Statue of Liberty has any value where we don't scrap it, but perhaps we have like an auction for other, not even countries, but if like people want to buy it, like they can bid on it?
I was thinking we just cut it up into pieces and you sell it in little glass cases that, like, I have a brick from Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
I was like, we do that. People are paying $100,000 minimum.
You can't even go into that thing anymore, can you?
You can't go up into the torch.
Where can you go?
I think like you can go up to the head or whatever.
If there's no torch, I send it back.
Yeah.
Well, we should send it back.
It's just give it back to France. They're like, what the fuck do you want us to do with this?
Yeah, it is just grimy as hell.
I think we should trade historical objects with other countries more often. Like, we will give you George Washington from Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
And you give us one of the little pyramids in Egypt.
We give you the George Washington head from Mount Rushmore, and in return, we get nuclear bombs.
I was thinking, like, because U.S. played Venezuela in the WBC, and I was like, what if Venezuela wins, then we have to give their president back to them?
Yeah. I don't even like pay attention to news anymore because I have no idea what's going on. Like down here in Arizona, apparently, who is it? Cesar Chavez, something like that. This is terrible reporting, and that's what you get with no brains, no headache. But apparently, like we're not naming the day after that guy anymore. There's also several schools named after this person. Ruiz?
Yeah, Cesar Chavez was like a American labor union and political activist.
So that means nothing to me.
He founded the National Farm Workers Association. You used to work on a farm.
It was a ranch, but we'll take it. But yeah, there's several schools named after him, and apparently like he did something bad or wrong or something. And now everybody
he was abusing kids. So
yeah, that's not good. Don't do that.
But
yeah, they're changing. They're already like having meetings about changing like there's a full-on high school named after him. There's a day dedicated to him that like people get off of like work and school and stuff. Everything scrapped.
Yeah, so when I did this comedy shows this last weekend, I would wake up at like 8:00 and all the other comedians would wake up at like noon. So on Saturday, I watched in its entirety the movie Spotlight with Mark Ruffalo.
Good film.
Yep. And then went out of my bedroom, and our buddy Blaze's parents were there, and I would just sit and drink coffee with them every morning. It was great. And then they would make us like stew.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable hospitality.
Stew and coffee to start your day.
Dude.
It's all downhill after
that. Talk about diarrhea.
Brutal.
Yeah, so like I think maybe not the Statue of Liberty, but we could start getting rid of some of our more outdated artifacts, if you will, and maybe trading them for cooler ones.
Well, and the thing about the Statue of Liberty is if you've ever been to New York, like the one time I went, somebody was showing me it and I was like, "Where is it?" And I had to like squint and they like kind of pointed out in the distance.
Yeah, it's
And I was
not.
like, "Oh, it's that little guy out there." Like it should be in like Dickinson, North Dakota, because it'll just stand out compared to everything else. In a place like New York City, off of like Manhattan, with the world's largest buildings, it looks like a yard decoration, like a gnome in your yard.
Yeah, and the fact that like it's on the like Liberty Island, and for the longest time New York and New Jersey didn't know who owned Liberty Island. So if you look it up, it's like now New York owns it, but it's like a weird cutaway of like yeah, geography nuts.
Yeah, I don't even know how to go about that. I think I'm ready to move away from Arizona. I did my like 6 month, vacay.
Where to next?
Probably home. I'm just gonna move back home.
Okay.
You see that space to your right in the corner? That's where I'm probably gonna sleep, just in the studio.
Right next to the ergonomic chair.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks like just a large butt plug.
Yeah. Ribbed for your pleasure.
Yeah, I attempted to go camping over the weekend, and it turns out it's not fun to go camping when it's 99 degrees out in March. Doesn't help that I was just a touch hungover, and I hung out for a while. I did some exploring, but I packed up all my stuff like ready to go have a good time. I had some firewood, all the things necessary for a camping adventure. And at about 2:30 in the afternoon, I was like, okay, this is fun. Time to head back to town. So yeah, it's just getting too hot for me. I'm screwed. It's only gonna get hotter. So I think it's time to just kind of pack up, head down to Rocky Point, Mexico, and start a new life like Andy Dufresne.
Yeah, you are basically Andy Dufresne. You just got to go to prison first.
Well, give it some time and
Yes.
probably end up there.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say something else, but it was not remote. Oh yeah. One time me and a couple buddies went camping. We just brought a bunch of booze. There was like four of us. One guy doesn't drink, so we went down there with a bunch of booze, sat there for 2 hours, drank all of our booze, and then just packed up our tent and went home.
It sounds very similar to my experience. I just had some snacks. I went to all the little sites around there, and I went to the same campsite 6 years prior on the exact day, because I have pictures of me like at this campsite on March 21st, 2020, and boy, has it changed. Yeah, the campsite is very like not maintained. All the shaded spots were already taken. So I pretty much just drove an hour and a half. I went like 10 miles through like the most off-road terrain possible. No issue for the Highlander. Pretty much just to go eat some food and hang out and then turn around and just go home. So sometimes my plans don't always pan out, and I shouldn't be surprised by that anymore. That's just life for you. It's like you can make all the plans, you can work out all the details, all the contingencies you need, and it's still just not going to go the way you planned. And you would think that after years I would get used to that, and nope. Here we are. But I think that's all we have for housekeeping, so let's get into it. Episode 291.
Okay. Let's party.
In sweeping news, Afroman was acquitted he was successful in suing the police department where he lived, in possibly the most hilarious trial on human history.
Okay.
So to premise this, I don't know if you know about it. Afroman from our childhood when we were in 5th grade. I think he came out with the songs Because I Got High,
Colt
and
45.
Colt 45, which we would all sing like we were the coolest people on the planet.
Very
just
catchy.
just to fast forward 10 years and we were all actually doing drugs. So really helped. But Afroman, who he'll play in North Dakota at like a dive bar every once in a while. So like his career has definitely hit the can. But the cops raided his house for some trumped up charges. Apparently stole $400 from him. Ate some lemon pound cake that was on the counter. He was
Well,
really upset.
you can't leave lemon pound cake out on the counter.
Yeah, I'm gonna. If I see a cake and it's frosted and no one's around, I'm swiping my finger and trying the frosting.
Yeah, at one of the bars I was at on Saturday, there was 2 cakes. There's like a chocolate and a vanilla cake, and I was like, "Oh, what's the cake for?" And they're like, "Oh, like a wedding party is here." So throughout the evening, I came across this gentleman who was very dressed up, and I was like, "Oh, was it your wedding?" He's like, "No, it was my daughter's wedding." And I was like, "Oh, father of the bride, congratulations, that's awesome." And then I saw him again later, and I said, "Thanks for the cake." And he's like, "What cake?" I was like, "Those 2 cakes over on the bar aren't from you guys?" He's like, "I have no idea whose cakes those are." And there I was just hammering 2 pieces of chocolate cake at the bar.
Dude, I did it again. I congratulated another person on their engagement. Not engaged. This one wasn't even in a relationship.
How did you mistake that?
I thought I saw something on Facebook that they like very recently got engaged. So I opened up the conversation with congrats on the engagement. And boy, were they confused.
What was the response, or was it awkward?
Yes. They're like, I'm not engaged. I'm not even in a relationship. And I was like, oh.
Was both of them there?
No. It was just like her.
Oh. Yeah, that's tough. That's hard to bounce back from, but you know what? You just got to put in one foot in front of the other.
But I usually do it about once every 2 months to someone. So Afroman, that happens to him. He's really pissed about the $400 and the lemon pound cake that he lost. So he spends the next 3 years writing and producing songs that are just diss tracks towards the cops that raided his house. One using the guy's full legal name.
Nice.
And it's the title of the song is Randy Walters is a son of a bitch.
Where was this located?
I don't know. It's
like California, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think wherever Afroman lives, probably like Dickinson. And then he had another song called Lick 'em Low, Lisa, accusing one of the officers of being a lesbian and banging all of the cops' husbands or wives.
I was about to say, I mean, I think that there's a word for that. It's called bisexual, but thank you for clarifying.
During one of the raid, the officer that allegedly ate some of the pound cake, Afroman made a whole album calling the officer fat.
That's justifiable. I mean, if you're on a raid and you can't help your fat ass from just eating the lemon pound cake, and I will say it's hard to say no to lemon pound cake.
Oh,
okay, we established that early. But yeah, like maybe just focus on the task at hand. Maybe. And also, why are we stealing $400? They could have stole, like, if that was me and they stole $20, I still would have been like, okay, not cool. Yeah.
And then Afroman showed up to court to defend himself wearing a full red, white, and blue American flag suit, jacket, and glasses. And for his only witness, he called to the stand, he called one of the deputies' ex-wives.
And she went up?
Yeah.
Was he like, are you a lesbian?
I don't know, but the jury ruled 100% in Afroman's favor. So,
and that's all that he was like suing for, was the $400 and the lemon pound cake.
Yeah.
All right. So mental note, if you're on the verge of getting raided, it's kind of like the night before Christmas, leaving some cookies and some milk and some carrots out for Santa. If you're about to get raided, put a few $100 on your counter and some delicious looking lemon pound cake, and you're going to be a free man 3 years later.
Yeah. Well, it's getting to the end of Santa's rope when it's about time. Your parents are about to turn it off when it's like, yeah, Santa wants PBR and Jack Daniels instead of milk and cookies this year. And you're like, okay, Dad's an alcoholic.
I'm seeing the writing on the wall. It's becoming very clear for me. Well, good for Afroman. Are you saying he should run for president now?
He is. He announced that he is running for president, I believe, as an independent.
Honestly, would probably get some decent votes.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt and I in the 5th grade, we did a mock election, and I believe it was like Bush versus Gore or something like that.
Bush versus Kerry.
Oh, okay, that year. I don't know. And Matt and I decided to be rebels, and we started a campaign for Ralph Nader. And we actually got a couple votes, if I remember correctly.
What I remember is we had 30 kids in our class, and I had 24 of them pledged to vote for Ralph Nader. And I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, we are going to flip this on its head.
And I get the votes back, and it's like 26 for Bush, 3 for Nader, and 1 for Kerry.
Yeah, we convinced one person to actually
I
vote.
Still remember it. Brandon.
Nice. Thank you, Brandon, for the vote. We appreciate you.
I still remember who voted for Kerry too. But his name's so unique that I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
Completely dogged. Okay. It was Chaskey, but oh, who gives a shit?
John.
Yeah, whatever.
But
I remember awesome. I was the most I think I was disappointed and mad because I was like, I think I put in some serious time and work into getting Ralph Nader on this ticket, and he just gets his doors blown off.
Well, I think it really showed a lot, at an early age from us that we are willing to go against the grain and really put our money where our mouth is. Because 2 of those votes for Nade Dog, as we call them. I made that up. I don't know what we call them, but we'll call him Nade Dog just for the sake of the conversation. When you and I voted for him, and Brandon, obviously, and it was just really rough. Also, that year we did a makeup news station thing.
Yeah, G Unit News,
and we called it G Unit News. Yeah. There's a lot of things that you can't get back in life, but one of them is naming it G Unit News. I also remember we were playing the Oregon Trail, not on the computer, like a board game type Oregon Trail.
Oh, yeah, it was live action Oregon Trail, and you're like, I got taken down by a pack of Indians. You're like, damn it.
Yeah, and our teacher had coins to flip, but these coins were literally this big, like the circumference of a softball, right? And they were heavy. And the very first person, it was Denko Andy, gets up and he's like, he gets the coin. He's like, what do I do with it? And the teacher's like, we'll throw it against the wall and then it'll land and then we'll find out. And this dude winds up and just throws a fastball at the brick wall. And I've never seen it. How can you, he got in trouble immediately, but it's what do you expect when you tell a kid to throw a large coin at the wall and then he does, and then you're like, to the principal's office? Come on, man.
Dude, I remember in 5th grade, my eyes were I had horrible eyesight, but I didn't want to wear glasses because I thought it made me look nerdy. And I just didn't see anything that was written on the board the entire year. and there was
you missed much.
Yeah, he would write up math problems. It'd be 1 through 5, and I would just not do them. And he would call on random people, and you could win something. And every time he would just call on me, I would make up a number, and he'd be like, "Nope, that's not right." And it would be like, it'd be like 9 plus 2. And I'd be like, 41. He'd be like, nope.
Way off.
Yeah.
Good times. 2004, 2005. I mean, good times. What can you do? If somebody says, if like you ask somebody to do something, but then they say no rush, does that kind of actually put a rush on it?
I tend to rush. I don't like saying no rush because I'm just not going to do anything.
I've been saying it like too often lately just because like just tasks at work or whatever. It's like, hey, like I need a favor, but hey, no rush. And then I caught myself one day and I was like, I feel like I'm giving the vibe that there's a rush now that I said no rush.
I hate when someone says no rush for you. Like, you have to do something, but then you're like, oh yeah, we can just do it later. No rush. And I'm like, I kind of want to get it done now because I don't want to do anything later.
Or for me, if like people are like, don't worry about it, it's like, well, I'm pretty fucking worried actually.
Yeah.
Like I'm not worried about anything besides what we're talking about right now. And you just told me to not worry about it, but like I'm already worried about it. It's hard for me to not worry once the worry's already there.
Or telling someone to calm down usually has the opposite effect.
I don't tell people to calm down. I don't tell people to relax anymore. I learned that the hard way.
If you have to ask if someone's angry, you already know that they're angry.
Oh, if I'm in a crabby mood and somebody calls me crabby, oh my God. Like, that's weird. I'm no longer crabby. I'm now full on angry.
Yeah, which is weird because you don't have a short fuse at all and can usually hold it together.
I think I've been doing pretty well lately. I was about to blow a lid earlier about an hour and a half ago.
Like 20 minutes ago before we started recording, you're like, God damn it, one last fuck.
Like today was like a real moment where I was like, yep, it's time to quit my job. Like I'm really going to stick it to them and let them know how upset I was about this by not just ever showing up again.
Yeah, I usually like mentally quit my job at least a dozen times a week.
Well, I'm already 1 for 1 this week.
If you, and then Wednesday and Thursday, I always start out the day by messaging someone saying, hey, positive day. And then something minor will happen. Like the coffee pot is out of coffee. And I'll be like, you know what?
Everybody go home for the day.
Yeah.
Let's reset. This is BS.
Yeah.
Yeah. You try to print something off and you go to the printer and it's like out of paper. You're like, you know what? Why do we even try anymore?
Or I accidentally print letter size onto legal paper. And I'm like, I'm never going to recover from this.
I'm gonna head home for the day. They're like, what's wrong? Printer's all out of paper. Like, okay, there's a bunch of paper right next to it. You just grab it. What if you put the printer paper in with the packaging still on it? It said it was out of paper. I added paper.
Oh, fuck. I wrote this down in my notes to tell you, but I went to Burger King last week. I went to Arby's on my way to my brother's house. I was super hungover and I went through and I paid for it. They handed me my drink and I just drove away without my food.
That was almost a spit take right there. Did you come back around? You're like, yeah, I'm the moron who just left without his food.
No, what I did was way worse because there's a McDonald's in that same parking lot. So I just drove to the McDonald's and got food and I had my Arby's drink.
You didn't even get your Arby's you paid for?
No.
That's I mean, going through the Arby's drive-through twice, that's a real shot at the old
it's a shot at your ego going through the Arby's drive-through once and just getting food. Imagine going back and be like, yeah, I was the guy that didn't get his food. And then if I did that, for sure, one of their employees would already be eating it.
You get to the window and you're like, I'm the guy who forgot his food. And he's like,
he just has my entire big Montana just.
oh, wow. Arby's actually sounds quite nice right now.
The fries I was so excited for. And then I think I literally just went and got 2 McChickens. And just.
I'm going to get so hee-hawed and do-si-doed after this. It's just going to be unfair.
Yeah.
What can you do? Moving on.
I mean, this is more of a food talk too. So have you ever been to Delta Sky Lounge or Sky Club?
I have not. I'm a big regional airport guy, so I don't even think they have such a thing. But like, honestly, when you go to major airports and say you're not like a member of any of those, like, is there a way you could probably just BS your way into it? Like, oh, my friend's in there, like, whatever. Does it depend on who's working?
It's pretty tight.
Like, you gotta show the card and your ID or something like that, or
if I were to do it, and I'm not saying I have, and I don't condone doing this, you bring a loaded handgun into the airport. I'm just kidding. You go to Minneapolis Airport and you go to, let's say you're going to the Sky Lounge in F, and there's also one in C. But you go to the big one, whatever it is, I think it's in C, and you say, hey, we already checked into the one in F, but they said we could transfer over to this one because we have a longer layover than we thought. And that they just go, oh, I can't find you in the system. And then I'm like, they said they would just transfer me. And they're like, that's okay. Just go right on in.
Yeah.
Every time.
Make it sound like a major inconvenience. And they're like, I really don't want to deal with this. Like, why don't you just head on in? Yeah,
it works every time. They're like, I make $19 an hour. I literally just took this job so I can fly for free.
Not a bad reason.
But that's one of my Delta Sky Lounge hacks. Another one I was thinking of. So it is free food, usually pretty decent food, and free drinks.
Yeah.
And I found out that you can go book, like, let's say this only works if you live in like a decent sized market, like Minneapolis, Chicago, New York.
Phoenix, perhaps?
Phoenix would probably work. You'd want to live close to the airport to make this worth your while, but you go and you just book the cheapest one-way flight that is leaving that airport. Doesn't matter where it's going, just you're not getting on that flight. And you go into the airport and you spend the entire day in there. Let's say you spend $49 on a one-way trip from Phoenix to Los Angeles or Phoenix to Vegas. And you go in there at around lunchtime. You ate a full spread of lunch. You're drinking at this point. Then have dinner. Usually it's pretty nice dinner. And you're
maybe take a shower.
You could, there's some of them that have showers, and you just post up, maybe bring your laptop, watch a movie, and you just drink all day, eat 2 good meals, and then head on home. So for the price of probably an Uber, because you could have a friend drop you off, maybe even a friend pick you up. But for the price of like $49, you're drinking $200 worth of drinks and probably $70 worth of food.
Honestly, that sounds like a fantastic day.
And that's probably light on the booze, because we were at the Nashville airport and my buddy Dally Boy Jones goes in there at 4:15 when they open and drinks 6 Jameson ginger ales at 5 a.m.
Which would probably cost you like $120 normally, like $20 a drink probably.
Yep, in the airport for sure.
Yeah.
And they always have like breakfast sandwiches, so you could even go there earlier and just spend the whole day.
I mean, if you're just like looking for something to do for the day and you're trying to maybe like, save a buck. Because yeah, by the time, even if you went out to like just a normal bar or restaurant, like it's gonna cost more than that.
Yeah, for sure.
I saw like the Wonton Don on YouTube. He's a Barstool guy. Love his channel. Check it out if you haven't already. Very entertaining stuff. But yeah, he travels a lot all over the world. And so usually when he goes through an airport, he kind of like does like a live stream or just like a vlog of it. And then he'll go into lounges and kind of like run you through the lounge, like give a review essentially. But he found one, I believe it's in like O'Hare or one of the ones in Chicago, Midway or whatever it is. And they're like, get in there. And it's pretty much just like, it kind of looks like an employee break room because it's just like tables and then it's like a wall of snacks.
Does this
But
have
then
the self-serve booze?
that's exactly what I was about to say. And then you get to like the bar part, and it's just like it's like if you go to your buddy's place and they have like a basement bar, and it's just like this whole spread, and they're like, "Oh, help yourself." Like that's what it is. And it's like I would rather just do that because you could just pour the stiffest or not stiffest drink, whatever your preference is, and then you don't have to deal with anybody. I'd way rather just self-serve myself than have a bartender, I think.
The bartenders are really cool because they will just do whatever. You're like, can I get a triple this? And they're like, sure. They'll just give you whatever you want. It's awesome.
Just like that viral video of that bartender in Vegas who's pouring a Crown and Coke, and he's just like holding the Crown, and it's like a large cup, and he's just like topping it off with whiskey, then just puts like the smallest amount of mixer in there.
Yeah.
Well, some Sky Lounge hacks.
I think I'm actually gonna get a credit card that has like gives you access to that because my one credit card that I have, I was traveling over the last month and they just turned it off because they thought I was being hacked, which I appreciate. But you could also maybe tell me that you did that because I possibly have it hooked up to, I don't know, the utilities on my house.
You and the utilities at your home have not gotten along since day one.
No, perhaps even before day one. But like, I mean, I had another credit card through my bank that they suspected fraud when I was eating soft pretzels in Vegas 9 times a day. But they just called me and they're like, is someone eating New York pretzels to go every 45 minutes on the hour? And I was like, yes, that is me. They're like, well, keep on keeping on. Also, you're out of money.
Also, there's no more money for soft pretzels, so hopefully you're enjoying your last one. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, with how much you travel, it probably makes sense for you to get something like that. But if you go to a lounge with somebody who has the access, are they allowed to bring somebody with them?
They usually get like that's how I usually get in is my sister has guest passes. Like you get like 5 or 6 a year and they carry over. So like at one time she was like, I have like 20 guest passes. And there was one time we were flying on 9/11 and we just went into the lounge and just sat across like 10 feet away from each other at the lounge, just sending each other TikToks of 9/11 memes. It was hilarious.
I mean, if you're going to send a meme at the airport, you might as well make it a 9/11 one.
Yeah. Or
sounds
every
like a pretty sweet time.
Or getting in the security line when you walk by an actual cop and you just lean over to your friend, you're like, grab for his gun.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Gets a laugh about, I don't know, once.
Never. Well, I'm glad we are on the food topic because the other day I was hammering some mozzarella sticks. I just kind of wanted a little something to eat, and like I feel like you know how we always say that like chicken tenders are always like the safest thing to order. I think mozzarella sticks could be right up there with it.
I would argue safer because I've had bad chicken strips. It's really hard to have bad mozzarella sticks.
These ones were like okay, but they're and I have a size thing with the mozzarella. Like they can't be too big. These ones were like damn near corn dog size. Like it was just way too much. One of them I took like the first bite, and then I looked in the little deep fried breading part, and it was just an empty hole. There was no cheese left. And I was like, what the? But anyway, I'm eating these mozzarella sticks at a bar, and like that's what I get. But they gave me this teeny tiny little serving of marinara sauce. And so I literally eat like 2 of the 4 mozzarella sticks, and I'm all out of marinara sauce. So I'll politely wait for the bartender, who was actually pretty slammed. I was just like, hey, could I get another one of these by chance? Like, yeah, no problem. 5 minutes goes by. 8 minutes goes by. At this point, I'm like, okay, I can't just. It's kind of like the lemon pound cake sitting in front of you. It's like, okay, I gotta
you don't want to eat hard cheese mozzarella sticks too.
So yeah, I ended up just like finishing them dry, which is usually how I finish. And and so I finished them. I like do my thing of like put my napkin in the empty marinara serving thing. And like I just slide it up, like, okay, I'm done with that. I could see back into the kitchen though, and this cook or chef was so pissed off because I saw him like slap down the marinara, and then you usually like put the ticket with it so you can tell, and he just throws the ticket. And every time he came from the back of the kitchen, he would just whip the door open and like slam the fridge door shut and head back. And like, okay, homeboy's having a terrible day, and I just made it worse by ordering a fair amount of marinara sauce.
Yeah.
And the bartender sees that I am done and has the audacity to go get the extra marinara and sets it down. And me and the person I was with, we looked at each other and just burst out laughing. Like, dude. So my whole point to this is, there's a time crunch with such a delicate dish such as mozzarella sticks. Like if because like you said, once they start to cool down, they get hard. At that point, you're just eating a cheese stick with breading on it.
Yeah.
Room temp, which is not great. So I'm just saying to any servers or bartenders or expos out there, if somebody's ordering some extra marinara sauce for their mozzarella sticks, let's put a rush on that, okay? Because A, I can't sit there and stare at them for that long. And B, there is like a time crunch with them because once they start to cool down, below lava melting point, it's useless.
So I used to not like marinara sauce. And when I was a kid and I would eat mozzarella sticks, I would just like eat them really fast. And the cheese would go down my throat sometimes. And I would like literally get it like stuck and like pull out like 15 inches of cheese that was coming down my throat.
Oh, if you haven't choked on a mozzarella stick cheese, you haven't lived. That's just how it goes. I never liked cocktail sauce with the shrimp as a kid.
Yeah.
Now I can't get enough of that stuff. The palate has changed over the years.
Yeah. So like one of the things there's just certain things that I have never tried because I just assumed I would not like them, like cottage cheese. Turns out I like cottage cheese.
Yeah, that's great.
Shrimp cocktail, another one. I just assumed I hated it. Tried it.
I would just eat the shrimp with like some squeeze some lemon over it, and like I could just eat it that way, and it was fine.
Yeah, but I tried it and I was like, this is not bad. I mean, I would never order it, but I would definitely eat it if it was there.
Like scallops.
Yeah. Or oysters.
I'll do some oysters.
Oysters just they don't taste like anything. They taste whatever you put on it.
Yeah, like the Tabasco sauce.
Yeah, so it's like,
both.
I just had a lemon Tabasco. Like you could have like wet cardboard that has lemon and Tabasco on it. I'd be like, these oysters are not that bad.
I think part of it is just like eating something straight out of the shell, and you kind of got to like slurp it down and get all sloppy with it.
Or Adam Richman ate like 23 dozen oysters.
That is just the poor digestive tract of that man.
His shit the next day must have been like an aquarium. Like there's an ecosystem in his toilet now of just oysters.
I don't think the human body was meant to digest 23 dozen oysters.
Oh, I can't imagine it was good.
That's brutal, but
Yeah.
lesson learned. I just got to be careful about where I order my mozzarella sticks now.
Yeah. I'm gonna just gonna read this article to you.
Okay.
I'm gonna read the title.
Please do.
Quadruple amputee professional cornhole player faces murder charges.
No.
Do you know who I'm talking about, though?
Is it the guy who and this is terrible of me, but he just kind of gives it a heave?
Yeah, and he's a professional cornhole player.
This is why I hate cornhole. This just adds to me hating cornhole.
Yeah, Dayton Weber he was in Maryland and arrested in Charlottesville, Virginia.
What if you lose a game of cornhole to Dayton?
I'm assuming he was like one of the better ones in the world. So I'm assuming a lot of people do lose to him.
I think that at that time you just got to hang it up.
That's like in high school, I lost in foosball to the retarded kid in our class, and I just never played foosball again until we were in Arizona. I didn't play foosball for 15 years. I would probably not play life after losing in cornhole to this guy. Also, how do you allow yourself to get killed by a quadruple amputee?
Okay, that was my next question, but clearly the foosball wasn't that big of a deal because me and another one of our buddies played, and we volleyed back and forth for about 5 minutes, and finally I scored, so to make it 1-0. That was the end of the game. We're like, all right, good game, that was fun. But what are the details with the murder here?
So I have so many questions about.
There's a lot to unpack, and this is fantastic.
So he was driving around in his Tesla SUV. First off, how are you driving? Second off, how do you afford a Tesla SUV on a professional cornhole player's salary?
You don't.
And there was 2 people in the back seat and a guy in the passenger seat. He shot the guy in the passenger seat and then asked the 2 people in the back for help getting the guy's body out of the truck.
What kind of gun?
Like a 9mm pistol.
Okay.
I did watch a video of him shooting a gun, and I don't understand how, because he just has 2 nubs and the gun's going off. I don't know how he's doing it, if he has a little sing or something.
They're probably going to be looking at who sold this guy a gun in the first place, if it was his and registered.
Yeah. Which one of you guys sold the traffic cone a weapon?
Also, as the victim in this story, how bad is your reaction time that you can't disarm a quadruple amputee who is pointing a gun at you with intent to harm / kill you
while driving
a Tesla? Yeah. This guy has done it all. He should be Afroman versus Dayton Weber for the presidential candidacy this next election.
But so
if this guy can win in cornhole and murder somebody with no arms or legs, imagine what he can do for this country.
I mean, between him and Oscar Pistorius,
Oscar Pistorius had 3 of the 4 limbs. This guy's 0 for 4.
No, Oscar Pistorius didn't have any legs. So if you don't have any
2
legs,
for 4. He's still batting .500. That's still pretty good at baseball.
Yeah, but if you don't have any legs, there's a 30% chance you're gonna kill someone. So, yeah, there was something else in the article that was bananas, but
this is just wild. I can't wait for the movie to come out about this thing. It's like Foxcatcher, except no arms or legs.
Yeah, they picked him up at a Virginia hospital. And I'm like, I think they are literally saying they literally picked him up, because also, how do you handcuff this guy?
You don't.
You don't. You just ragdoll him into the back of the cop car and be like, man, he's not going anywhere.
I think you just cut a hole in the top of a potato sack and then just slide it over him.
You just put a pillowcase over his head. He's like, that should keep him.
That ought to do it. Oh, man.
Yeah, the logistics of keeping this man in prison have to be the easiest thing of all time. It's He's not even in a cell. He's just in the break room hanging out on the couch. It's like, he can't move.
Imagine being his roommate and you got to like help him get up into bed or whatever. And he's on the top bunk. What if you're like a power bottom, meaning just like you prefer the bottom bunk? And
no one's ever said someone that prefers the bottom bunk as being a power bottom.
Okay, well, I just did. So get with it. I didn't think that anybody with no arms or legs could shoot someone and kill them. Here we are. Okay, March 23rd, 2026. I found out something new, that if you don't have any arms or legs, it is still possible for you to shoot somebody with a handgun and fatally wound them.
I love it. And so this is like a Fox DC news station that first reported it.
Fox
and
Diet Coke.
And there's a snippet of the article that says what we don't know. And the guy was, police have not explained how Weber was able to drive a car or fire a weapon.
What if he wasn't even supposed to be driving? I think his professional cornhole career went to his head and he was thinking he's above the law. When in reality, he can't even ride a Ferris wheel because he doesn't even reach the height requirements.
No.
This is just blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, it's nuts.
What the hell's his name? Wyatt Dayton
Weber.
So what's the, like, when did this happen? Where's he at now? Is he on bail?
He is in jail. He was extradited from Virginia back to Maryland where the crime was committed.
That's got to be tough when you get extradited from one state to another.
Yeah, and like the states are so close and he's probably so like light that they probably just threw him back to the other state.
Do you think they could throw him 75 yards?
I mean, if there was 3-4 police officers, yeah. I'm assuming they just put him in a trebuchet and launched him across the Chesapeake Bay.
He's coming.
Just put him in one of those crazy large carnival cannons.
Because that's kind of like how cornhole is. Like you launch the bag, if you will. They just launched Dayton.
Yeah, him in prison, he's going to be used as the cornhole bag.
Yeah.
I
Playing
don't
some Dayton toss.
Yeah, like they took all of our toys away, but they still let this guy come out in the yard, so we just take turns throwing them.
I mean, do you think, like, assuming he gets charged in like some sort of prison sentence, are they gonna give him like some special treatment or a special cell or cell block? Like,
I think
I would be like, this is bullshit. Put him in Gen Pop with everybody else, just like where he belongs.
I think you need to make an example of him, because if you don't, then there's going to be a bunch of quadruple amputees out there trying to commit murder.
I mean, he's got to be an inspiration for the quadruple amputee community. Professional cornhole player, murderer, Tesla owner. There's a lot going on right now. How the fuck did he drive a Tesla?
No, I think, like, now that I'm talking about, like, a Tesla drives itself.
No, I get that, but you still kind of have to, like, you got to get in.
What I think just so apparently his two friends that were in the back seat, so he shot the guy and then was driving around with his dead body and two people in the back, and he goes, "Hey guys, would you mind helping me move his body?" And they're like, "No," and they just got out of the car and ran away.
Okay, I was about to say, if a quad amp, as we're gonna call him going forward, if a quad amp shoots somebody from the driver's seat and shoots the passenger, I'm doing whatever the hell he asks me. Be like, okay, yeah. Want to go to Dairy Queen, get a Blizzard? It's on me. Okay, I'll feed you if I have to.
I will say, if he has a gun pointed at me, there would not be an easier person to knock a gun out of his hands because he doesn't have any.
Yeah, he's probably going to get off of this because he's going to be like, did you find any fingerprints on that gun? They're gonna be like, actually, no, he didn't. It's a good point. They'd be like, well, there's no fingerprints and there's no crime.
What if they, like, went to the prison and they just used him as, like, a scarecrow out in the yard?
Oh, goodness gracious. This is fun. This is some good, clean family fun right here.
Yeah, but let's move on.
Yeah, I had quite the day yesterday. I watched these movies, and probably, arguably, like one of the most interesting three lineup movies. Started the day off with Hook, with
Great
Robin
movie.
Williams, Peter Pan. I was sawing logs about 10 minutes into that one.
You wake up when they're fake eating food. You're like, wow,
No,
now I'm actually hungry.
No, I woke up to the theme song of Shrek starting because Amazon Prime just fired up another movie for me, and it was Shrek. But it was one of those naps where like when you wake up from a nap and you're like, oh, like I gotta use the bathroom, or I should get like some water or food, and then like 2 hours goes by and you're still just laying there. That was me 1000%. So at this point, I have Hook under my belt that I didn't really watch much of. I have Shrek, which I actually did watch it all the way through. And then I finished the day off with Silence of the Lambs.
Pretty natural transition from Shrek to Silence of the Lambs.
But it was such a good viewing of Silence of the Lambs. Like, I've obviously seen it before. It's a fantastic film. If you haven't checked it out, definitely do so. And like it was one of those movies that I was just like so into it that I like was realizing like the major theme of sexism, because Jodie Foster, Clarice, she just basically gets used as a pawn from the FBI to interrogate or interview Hannibal Lecter, and they knew that he was just gonna like not be able to resist her good looks. And like the creepiest part, which I totally forgot about the movie, as she's walking to his prison cell for the first time, like one of the crazy guys in the cell next to Hannibal Lecter says, "I can smell your CUNT." And then she gets to Hannibal Lecter's and she's like, "What did he just say to you?" And like Jodie Foster repeats it. And then Hannibal Lecter goes, "Well, I can't," and then goes up to the air holes and takes a big whiff. And then exactly pinpoints what perfume she's wearing and what lotion she uses. Like just diabolical stuff.
Yeah, I just did some research to see if there's any parallels between Shrek and Silence of the Lamb, and it broke Google AI. So
Google AI is like, I've never got that question before.
It literally loaded for an hour and a half, and it came back with Chris Farley did a Buffalo Bill parody and was the original choice to voice Shrek as the only parallel between Shrek and Silence of the Lambs.
Hey, you know what? I'm only human. Okay. I had a great movie viewing day. Also, earlier in the day, I did watch like half of Happy Gilmore 2.
Though the first half is the only thing you really need to watch. And what I will say, my recommendation to watch is the Ted series on Peacock. Season 2 might be one of the funniest things I've watched in a good long time. It is
like Ted the teddy bear. Ted.
Yep. There is a series about Mark Wahlberg's character when he was like a teenager. So there's a lot of like jerking off references. Actually, pretty much the whole second season is just references to them smoking weed and jerking off.
Matt, I think you already forgot we're trying to bring back the term whacking off.
Yeah. So like there's one point where they're trying to clean his bed sheets and they're just stiff as a board and they're carrying them and they just break into a million pieces.
Wow, good for him.
It's comically hilarious.
A lot of reload time, but we can finish up the show with sports like we usually do. This will be coming out shortly after we're done recording, but Thursday, opening day.
Yep.
So baseball is officially back. Cubs are looking good. Saw a couple spring training games. Not that I paid any attention, so I don't really have a scouting report. But what are your thoughts on baseball being back? How are you feeling about it?
I'm excited. Cards on the table. I did enter NBNH into a fantasy baseball draft, and I forgot about the draft. So we do have a team. I didn't draft anyone. I actually did wake up, drafted like 2 players. Then I was like, whatever. Team's actually pretty solid.
Who's their best position player? Who's their best pitcher?
Cal Raleigh and Garrett Crochet.
Garrett Croquet, my boy.
For some reason, we have like most of the Houston Astros infield is our entire infield.
I mean, if the Astros are hot, we'll be hot.
And then we have Jung-Hoo Lee.
Love that restaurant.
Our pitchers are just stacked, though. We got Chapman, Garrett Crochet, Joe Ryan, Devin Williams.
Nice. I mean, that's really what fantasy baseball comes down to. It's like, okay, do you want to focus on your position players or do you want to focus on pitchers? When I used to play during the Jahungas dynasty or the Mound Dogs, couple name changes there. I made it a point to alternate every pick. So I'd go like position player, pitcher, position player, pitcher. I actually discovered Garrett Crochet. He was like, I streamed him one week years ago when he played for the White Sox, and he just absolutely dominated. So then I kept him, and then he's only gotten better ever since. So it's always cool to see somebody who kind of picked out of a random lineup. What if they did a lineup for Dayton Weber? Of like, all right, which one of these guys was the murderer? And it's just like 5'8", 6'1".
They have to fly in quadruple amputees from around the country to make it fair.
Yeah.
There's just like 2 black guys in it. It's like, we can't really be beggars can't be choosers in this situation. Or one guy has like 1 arm and be like, we couldn't find.
We didn't have enough quadruple amputees to get in time for the lineup. Do you want to pick a couple World Series winners?
Yeah.
Who are you thinking? You can go first.
I mean, the obvious pick is the Dodgers, but I'm going to take them out of our picks just because they are the single most favorited team to win one of the Big 4 sports championships in documented history. So I'm going to go with, I think the Mets have a real good chance this year. And I do like the Mariners.
All right, I'm pulling up FanDuel. Yep, Dodgers are plus 200. Jesus, that is insane. Yankees are right after them. Mariners after them. Mets after them. Where are the old Cubs at?
I think they're like 12th or something.
Can I take the Cubs?
Yeah.
All right, give me the Cubs. I'm tired of not picking my teams, and then they do well that year, and then the year I do pick my team, they suck. So
yep, you just cursed the Cubs. So
terrific. Blame the entire season on me. And it's funny, I was actually, before we got started, I was thinking about who I wanted, and I was like, I don't like to pick them, but do I go with the Yankees?
Yeah, the Cubs are going to have so many injuries now that they're going to have Dayton Weber as a pinch runner.
Well, judging by his capabilities, it shouldn't be a problem for him. He'll just pull out a Glock 9mm and just shoot the catcher before he can even throw down to second, which is pretty effective.
Just have the Last Boy Scout, but baseball edition.
Yeah, I guess give me the Cubs and Yankees. I hate it. I like to go like middle of the pack because I feel like that's just how baseball works. It's like preseason. I did see some bold predictions for the year. Like some random person just gave some random bold predictions, and one of them was the Cincinnati Reds will win a home playoff game. And I'm like, I would love to root for that, but that means that the Cubs were like wild card.
Yeah, I mean, the Reds did make the playoffs last year, so it's not like they did get their just doors blown off by the Dodgers, but they did make it.
Well, the Royals are at plus 3,500 according to FanDuel at the time of recording. And then the Reds are the next one down, and they're plus 5,500. So like there's a pretty big gap there. And I kind of want to pick both those teams, one from each league. I saw something about how the Royals like maybe like the best offensive team of the year or something, like kind of a long shot, but
I love how they, right when the odds came out, they just didn't give the Rockies, the Twins, or the White Sox any odds to win the World Series.
Yeah, the bottom of the pack from bottom up is Nationals and Rockies at plus 50,000, the Cards at 25,000, and then it's White Sox, Angels, Marlins, Rays, Twins, Athletics. All of those teams are plus 10,000 or higher in odds. That's got to be brutal being one of those teams. But I was talking to a guy the other day that went to one athletic spring training game, and he was convinced that they were going to win the World Series.
The A's are exciting. Like they got a ton of really young guys, but they don't have very good pitching.
My local Diamondbacks plus 7,000. So looking like not a great season. Hopefully tickets are cheap. We can head over to Chase Field, go check out some games. But I think that's our show this week. So thank you so much for listening. Make sure you check us out on all social media platforms. Wherever you are listening, make sure you subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. We'd really appreciate YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. We are on a downward spiral on Instagram, and it's actually quite entertaining. But we'd appreciate the follow. We'd also appreciate it if you told your friends and family if you enjoy the show. Never hurts to recommend a good podcast, and hopefully they like it too. But that's all we got this week. So up next, we have episode 292. Stay safe.
No